Hello and welcome to the very first episode of the WRIGS Podcast. What's the WRIGS Podcast? I can't even say it. It's a good start. The WRIGS Podcast. WRIGS stands for Weekly Reflection, Introspection, Gratitude, and Sharing Podcast. I've decided to do this because I've been meaning to try gratitude and journaling for a little while now, and I just can't seem to get into it. I've tried to write down my thoughts regularly, but it always feels more of a chores rather than something I like to do. I do have a gratitude app on my phone that I fill up every night, but I don't, although it is of help, I don't feel like it's giving me the full reflection and introspection that I need every day. I've also been saying all year, since the beginning of the year 2024, that I was going to go out of my comfort zone this year. Originally, what I had in mind, I think, was trying to be a DJ. As ridiculous as that sounds, I really wanted to give it a good shot, but I also didn't want to give it a half-assed shot. So, in the end, I haven't even tried or made a step forward. So the reason I'm starting this podcast and filming myself and also putting out there on internet is because I want to be held accountable. It's too easy for me if I say, oh yeah, I'm going to film myself to do this gratitude and reflection and introspection. But then if I don't put it out or if I don't tell anyone about it, then whenever I'm going to miss a day or an iteration or a week because I'm intending on doing this weekly, then no one will know. And I guess I just want the accountability of it, to try and see how the reflection on how my week went is helping. This is heavily inspired from the Diary of a CEO, the original podcast he was doing back in 2019. Diary of a CEO by Stephen Bartlett. If you've never listened to that podcast, it's, first of all, I recommend it because I feel like it's a very good one. You learn a lot from it. These days he's doing more of a conversation type of thing where he's got a guest. Whoever this guest is an expert in some domain, and he asks questions about this domain and they talk for a couple of hours. But originally he was just talking to himself. He had notes in his diary, hence the name Diary of a CEO, and he just reflected on it out loud in front of a camera. And I guess what I thought with this is that if it worked for him, if it worked for a millionaire, why wouldn't it work for me? I'm really doing this for me, to try and better my mental health, to try and think better of myself and not stop thinking of me like a failure, because this happens a lot. I think a lot of myself as someone who can't live up to expectations or standards that sometimes I'm setting, but sometimes set by society. And whenever I'm trapped down this sort of like rabbit hole, it can be hard to like get out of it. And I'm hoping that by doing these videos and these podcast episodes, I'll be able to reflect better on my life, on my week, and that it will translate in a better sense of worth on a daily basis. So it's very experimental. As you can see, I don't even have a mic. I'm recording this from my phone. I'm using my headphones as a mic. I'm just in my bedroom. There's a football game tonight outside, so you might even hear some crowd cheering at some point. Who knows? But it's a start. You got to start somewhere. You can't start by being perfect. So I'm giving it a crack. And that's what the WRIGS podcast is going to be. A weekly dive into my thoughts and my feelings and how I feel about certain situations and things that have happened in my life during the week. And the aim is to do that every Sunday. We'll see. I might shift that to a different day depending how it goes. Maybe Monday would be a better idea actually, but we'll see what happens. I'm hoping I would be less inclined to bottle everything up on a daily basis. As you might know, I went through depression back in 2021, and I think a lot of this was brought, quote unquote, by myself. I did that to myself because I didn't have the tools to cope with certain emotions, and I fed the bad feelings instead of getting out of it or deal with it the right way. I've since that I'm doing a lot better. I've learned a lot from therapy. I was seeing a life coach at some point. Before therapy, like all these things have helped. Listening to podcasts have helped. Educating myself about everything has helped a lot. I'm such a different person than who I was 4 years ago, 3 years ago, and that's for the better. I think. That being said, I still have some days where my sense of worth is really low, and I guess I just want that to stop. I know it will never 100% stop, but if I can get that feeling down from more or less every day to once a week or a couple of times a month, that'd be a huge win already. I kind of know, quote unquote, what's wrong with me. I have a tendency to compare my worth to external things, and especially on a romantic relationship type of thing. So I'm hoping that by working on myself, by doing those reflections, those episodes weekly, I can reflect and acknowledge that my life is not what my brain tells me it is most of the times. So what to expect in this podcast? I think the first one is going to be authenticity. There's not going to be any filter. I'm hoping, and that's the idea anyway. I'm sure things will change with time and there's going to be an evolution. But I really want to be authentic. I don't want to hide anything. I want to be honest with me, honest with whoever is listening or watching. I want to be true. My drive is honesty and authenticity, so that the act of reflecting is actually meaningful. Because there's no point reflecting on something if I'm not being honest with myself. So I think there's going to be could be some dark moments. There could be some things that are new to people, and some things that are maybe not so new that I think I'm hiding well, but not so much. In terms of like reaching out, or I guess the reach of the videos of the podcast, I guess I'm hoping that being authentic and honest about how I feel and then about how my weeks go, that anyone's watching and is going through a shit time or a similar time than what I'm saying can relate. And I'm hoping it can help people to realize that they're not alone with those feelings. I certainly tend to think that I'm the only one having these feelings sometimes, such as I'm a piece of shit because of this or because of that. And I know that in those times, if someone next to me would be like, hey, do you know what? Something more or less similar happened to me. And you're not alone, I'm not alone, then I hope that these little videos will help. Simple as that, really. I'm intending on keeping it relatively short, maybe 25 minutes, half an hour. But obviously, some weeks are going to be different. I was hoping to do it unscripted and just sit down, turn the camera on, and think about my week and go, okay, what happened Mondays? What happened Tuesday? What happened Wednesday? And so on. As I sat down today, I actually find it really hard to remember what happened on Monday. Not that my life is crazy busy. I mean, it is a little bit busy, but I think it's a lot of the same things. So it's hard to remember what happened on those days. So I reckon from next week, I'll actually write notes every day. Just a couple of things for each day, so I can reflect and remember how that day was on the day, at the time. Instead of sitting like today and thinking, oh yeah, this week was great, when maybe Tuesday I didn't feel that good. So it's really just about acknowledging the true feelings. But also to realize that, okay, Tuesday was good, or Tuesday was bad, but in a grand scheme of things, it was one bad day out of the week. It's easy to think that when you're having a bad day, it's going to be like this for the whole week, or it's never going to end, or your life is a mess. But it's quote unquote just a bad day. And it ends, and there's good days. So I'm going to try for this week, for the first episode, I think I'm going to have to skip Monday and Tuesday and just and I'll go from Wednesday. I guess on Tuesday, I think Tuesday were the elections, right? In the US election, the Trump against Harris election, which I don't really care much. I mean, there's not much I can do about it here, being an Australian in Australia, French Australian, but that still doesn't change anything. I guess on a very selfish way, and ignoring everything else actually. Trump going through was actually good for me because I've got a bit of investment, and the markets have answered favorably to his election. So that actually made me feel a bit better because I'm a bit in the financial stress, and seeing my investment going up made me feel better. So yeah, it is very selfish. I'm aware of this. I know he's not the best character, is he? Without going in too deep into that, let's all agree that I'm not sure that it's a great thing for the world, but in a selfish way, for my sake and for the short term, it's good for me. So not gonna shy away from it. I did say this would be brutally honest me, so here goes. It worked out good for me for now anyway, that Trump went through. So I guess this has helped me feel a bit better earlier in the week, because all the investment that I made earlier this year and that actually went down since the beginning of the year are now up, and I now officially haven't lost money. And probably in the next few days I'm actually going to be up. So money doesn't make everything, but it's good to see things pay off, quite simply. Wednesday I had a doc appointment because I have a shoulder injury. I've been having this injury for a year, and I went in under the impression, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. This injury, I had 2 cortisone injections since last year to basically mask the pain so I can rehab the shoulder without feeling pain. And then whenever the cortisone wears off, the pain comes back, which is normal, but we're hoping it comes back less than what it was, which happened the first time, which probably did happen the second time as well, but in a much less noticeable way. So on this time, I was under the impression that the doc said, okay, we've done this twice. It hasn't worked fully. So we're either going to we'll do another MRI, which I did, to see what's going on. I had a cyst last year that has grown a little bit, but not by a lot. I thought that this would be a tell that we needed to drain the cyst. I also have a little bit of tear in my labrum. I'm not going to go into details, I don't know them anyway, but basically it's a bit of wear and tear from old training age. But we don't know if it's the cyst provoking the pain, or if it's the tear. And I thought that we would drain the cyst, but we didn't. We did a third injection of cortisone, and I'm annoyed with this because we've done it twice, and it hasn't changed much. Now we're doing it a third time. Well, I thought we would try something different, but look, it's done now. I mean, doctors are professional. I'm sure they know what they're talking about, but it's really annoying for me. It's very frustrating because the pain's here. I can almost train fully, but there's certain movement that I can't do, and I'm simply getting frustrated because I'm on 13 months now, and that is a long time to be injured for the same thing. But it is what it is. We've done that injection on Wednesday. I just gotta keep to my rehab, check in with the physio in a couple of weeks, see how we feel, and maybe put my foot down next time to say, hey, we need to do something else. Or not, maybe it's gonna work, maybe third time's a charm, who knows. But I was I'm gonna say disappointed and frustrated that we were doing the same thing. Then on Wednesday night, I had a terrible night. I fell asleep quite early, maybe around 9 p.m. like I usually do. I woke up half an hour later. Like, it does happen fairly regularly for me, but normally I'll go back to sleep straight away. And that night I just couldn't. I think I stayed awake until 1 a.m., maybe 1:30. So to wake up, I was planning on waking up at 5 to go to work, driving Uber, but I couldn't wake up. I had to go back to sleep, woke up at 7, feeling rubbish. Felt like I had a massive night out and I was hungover when I wasn't. And I don't know, maybe it's something I ate, but I can't remember eating anything weird. Had the same diet I have every day, so very strange. Thursday, I was obviously very foggy all day because of the lack of sleep from the night before. Not a good quality sleep. And then in the evening, I had struggled to fall asleep again. Probably fell asleep around 11, which is better than 1, but definitely not good enough for me when I wake up at 5. I did wake up at 5 and went driving on Friday, feeling a bit tired, but I had to, because otherwise, if I don't go drive, there's no money coming in. On Friday though, I did feel better, although still tired. I could tell I was on the mend. And Friday was actually a great day. Went driving in the morning for 3 hours. Was quite busy, so I made good money, and always helps my brain because I feel like I'm going forward whenever I make good money. I associate money with progress, and really whenever I go for a drive for Uber and it's very quiet, I feel like I've wasted my time and not made money. Whereas that day was busy, so that was good. Then I went for a catch up with a friend. We went for a walk, a little bit of a snack, maybe for a couple of hours all up. It was very nice because I had not seen them in quite a while actually, probably since before my holidays. I mean, we had run into each other a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, but we had not had a decent chat, a proper catch up in a while. And I think what really made me happy is that they organized it. They reached out asking, okay, are you free Friday, or are you free this week to catch up? And it sounds silly, but I often think I'm always the one organizing things with my friends. And sometimes I've got this thing that goes, if I don't reach out, people won't reach out. So having it happen, quote unquote, for once, I could be totally biased, you know. This is a feeling I have. It might not be happening, it's just in my head. But at the end of the day, I was more happy about the fact that my friend reached out to me and we went for a walk, the two of us, and hang out, etc., more than the actual catch-up. The actual catch-up was great, but I was already happy before it happened because they had reached out. And I think that shows how insecure I can be and how much I rely on external validation to feel happy. And it's okay, like, it's normal. We all love it when we get a bit of attention. I just need to stop thinking I need to stop, put my words down whenever these things don't happen, because everyone's busy. Everybody has their busy life. And I'm sure there's some people that think the same thing about me, that if they don't reach out, I don't reach out. But you know how I'm going to say, you know how the brain works. Probably not to its full extent, but we all have the same feelings that say that is biased against us. The brain is very good at being biased against us, and this is what it does for me quite often. Unfortunately. But look at me working on it and trying to change that. So we hang out, then I went for a haircut, which could sound trivial, but it's actually some self-care. You know, I'm looking after my physical appearance and I'm spending money on me. So there's more to it than just a haircut. Then I went coaching for the rest of the day. I had to go early, so that was actually a pretty full-on day, you know. I left home at 6 a.m. and I got home at 7 p.m. pretty much, except for like dropping the keys and getting changed and stuff like that. So yeah, great day. It was a good little session training as well. I feel like I did a good job. I feel like the members had a good time. So yeah, that was just an overall good day. And then Friday night, once I got home, I had dinner with my housemates, which we don't do often, just because we got different schedule, and I tend to watch TV when I have dinner because it's like my relaxing time. So it was nice to actually sit down with them, have dinner, talk shit, have a laugh. It's good. I hope we get to do that more often, even though it's hard to organize. We don't necessarily need to organize it. It's good when it just happens. And then the big week thing that happened for me this week. If you don't know, I am a CrossFit coach. I'm aspiring to open my own CrossFit affiliate, which is basically my own gym, in X years, you know. It could be as short as 2 years, it might take 7 years, who knows. But I'm working towards that goal. The way CrossFit works, to be a coach, you need to do what is called the CrossFit Level 1, where they teach you about the methodology. And then you can go up, CrossFit Level 2, Level 3, Level 4. The Level 2 is more about actual coaching, and they teach you more cues, etc., etc. You also need that Level 2 to open your own affiliate. And I actually had my Level 2 course this weekend. I actually just got back. This was a bit of chalk still on my t-shirt because we worked out just before the end of the weekend, of the second day today, and I feel like if I went into a shower and lay down, I would have never recorded that video. So yesterday, Saturday, and today, Sunday, was the course, pretty much 9 to 5. It's a lot of like lecture teaching you some things and then putting these things in place with some physical moving drills, coaching. The instructors are giving you feedback on it and how to do things better. They're there to help you being a better coach, which makes sense. The better the coaches are, the better the brand is represented, the more money CrossFit makes. So it's a win-win. And yeah, it was great. It was a great weekend. I learned a lot. However, I also learned a lot about how much I don't know and about how far I am to become a great coach. I'll get there, but that was humbling for sure. And I now feel more uncertain about how good of a coach I am compared to before. There was a lot of things that I didn't know already. There was also a lot of things that I thought I knew and I wouldn't say wrong. I'm going to say a lot of things that I thought I did, but that was actually not as great, which is fine. That's why I did the course, to get better. So I'm really glad I did it. They're going to send us the test in the next 48 hours, and then I'll have 30 days to do it. It might already be in my inbox, so I'll have to pass the test to validate the course. But they say it should be a piece of cake for everyone, so fingers crossed it'll be a piece of cake for me too. Nevertheless, it's hard because the way they teach things, CrossFit has a methodology and certain way to do things, and I would love to follow these guidelines and their methodology to a T. The reality is, in the affiliates, it's hard sometimes to implement the methodology to a T. An affiliate is a business. The business owner makes a living around it, needs to pay the coaches, needs to pay the bills, needs to pay his rent. And sometimes you have to deviate from the methodology just to keep money coming in. And for right or wrong, hopefully I'm wrong, but I feel like it's going to be hard for me to follow the methodology to a T while trying to keep all the members, I guess. And it's not saying the members happy, and it's not saying that what's happening in the affiliate that I work is wrong. Not at all. It's a very successful gym. It's a great gym. If you ever had the opportunity to come and train there, just do it, because you'll have heaps of fun and you're going to get fitter and healthier. And I just feel like there is some things that I don't want to do whenever I will have my own gym, but that's not anytime soon. And at the end of the day, I need to respect what has been built. And I'm not going to say conflicted, because I'll happily listen and do it the way it's meant to be done in the gym I work at. But somehow it makes me feel like I'm deviating from my plan, which I guess is not true. I can do things that I quote unquote don't want to do and still learn about it. I can learn that, alright, this is the way we do things here, and I know that whenever I open my own gym, I won't do it this way. And it's fine. I'm so grateful for my chance, the opportunity to coach there, to work there. I've been training there for 9.5 years now. And I'm so grateful for my boss, just because he's just giving me a chance. I'm hoping I'm paying it back. But he also, he participated in the cost of the course. Like he's investing in me. So it'd be shitty for me to say that, oh, I don't want to do things like that. This is shit because I don't agree with it. It's on me to be more like, this is great. This is a great opportunity about learning what I don't want to do while still applicating it while I work there. And I'm not leaving anytime soon. I love it there. I love the members. I've been here for 9.5 years. This place has been open for 10 years. You don't stay open for 10 years with 200 plus members if you're not successful. And that's why I'm so conflicted, because clearly it works. And I think what I'm conflicted about is that I'm afraid that following my sometimes stubborn ideas will make it not successful, and that I will have to do things not according to my values or against my values to be able to be successful, which is probably not true. And also very preemptive. Like I said, I'm not going to open a gym for at least 2 years, probably more realistically, just to save money for a deposit. So calm down. Yeah, I'm going to calm down and stop being so impatient and just focus on me and learn and try to be the best person and the best coach I can be for the members, but for me too. And who knows, he might start with a podcast. But yeah, that's me. That's my week. I'm quite happy that I kept it to half an hour. I'm not sure anyone will listen to this or watch this. If you did, thanks for sticking to the end. See you next week. And give me any feedback you've got. Otherwise, OG. And I will